Let's be honest, most people think they need money to make money. And look, I get it. Yeah, money helps, but it's not quite necessary when you actually know what the heck it is you're doing. See, what you really need is a plan. A simple, ruthless, no BS plan that can take you from broke to building wealth in just 30 days. And no, I'm not about to tell you to stop drinking Starbucks or clip coupons like it's 1997. This is about rewiring how you think, how you act, and how you move with money. So 30 days from now, you're not just a little better off. You're on a completely different track. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you a zero to wealth blueprint. 4 weeks, 30 days, no excuses. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to flip the script on your money life. Think of this as a financial boot camp without the push-ups. Take notes, because it's about to get real. Phase 1, Week 1, the wake-up call, days 1 to 7. Track every dollar like a detective. Okay, now, day 1 is simple. You need to stop treating your money like a ghost you can't see. Most people have no idea where their money goes. Yep, it's like trying to lose weight without ever stepping on a scale. So for the next 7 days, track every single dollar. Yes, even the $3 vending machine snack you pretend didn't happen. Download a free budgeting app or just use notes on your phone. Your job is to see where the leaks are. I want you to think of your money like a crime scene, and you're the detective. Spoiler, you'll quickly discover that the culprit isn't the big stuff like rent. It's the death by 1,000 cuts expenses. Subscription you forgot about? Daily Uber Eats habit? Yeah, guilty as charged. Once you actually see where your money's been sneaking off to, you'll realize you're not broke. You're just bleeding cash. So what do you do with that info? That's where day 2 hits hard. Point 2, cut one expense you won't miss. Let's be real. Most people try to overhaul their entire life in one shot and fail. Not you. All I'm asking is this. Cut one expense this week, just one. The one that doesn't add real happiness to your life. For me, it was fancy bottled water. For you, it might be the 4th streaming service you never watch. Drop it. Cancel it. Watch how it feels to keep that $15 in your pocket. That's $180 a year you just freed up. Congratulations, you gave yourself a raise. But cutting expenses is just step 1, because no one ever got rich by saving pennies. The next step, flipping those pennies into soldiers that fight for you. Point 3, build a $100 mini emergency fund. Day 3 to 7. This is the one that's all about power. And boy, do I love having power. Because here's the truth. Broke people stay broke because every surprise expense knocks them flat. Flat tire, emergency vet bill. Suddenly they're borrowing from friends or putting it on credit. You need a financial cushion, even a tiny one. Your mission this week, save your first $100. Sell old clothes on Facebook Marketplace. Skip takeout and cook at home. Walk dogs. It doesn't matter how. Just get $100 sitting in a separate account by day 7. That $100 isn't wealth, but it's momentum. And momentum is the first ingredient of getting rich. Now that you've seen how quickly you can create money out of thin air, it's time to flip the script. Because week 2 is where things get dangerous, in the best way. Phase 2, week 2, planting seeds, days 8 to 14. Pick one high-income skill to learn. First of all, don't be a fool. Forget side hustles where you fill out surveys for 17 cents. That's not income, that's digital begging. And quite frankly, it's nonsense. Instead, pick a high-income skill. Copywriting, coding, video editing, digital marketing. These are the money-making cheat codes of the internet. Day 8, choose one, not 3, not all of them, just one. 30 minutes a day. That's literally one Netflix episode you'll never miss. Think of it literally like dating. You don't need to marry the first skill you swipe right on, you just need to commit long enough to see if it's worth your time. Stick with it for a week, and suddenly you're not a consumer anymore. You're a creator of value. But skills alone don't pay rent. Time to flip your first trick, financially speaking. Point 5, make $1 outside your job. Now here's where psychology kicks in. So listen up. By day 10, your mission is simple. Make one single dollar outside your 9 to 5. Just one. You might be thinking, why bother? It's just $1. Well, guess what? That dollar is your red pill moment. The second you earn money outside your job, you start to say, wait a second, I don't need a boss to feed me. It could be freelancing on Fiverr, flipping a book from Goodwill, or designing someone's awful-looking PowerPoint. Doesn't matter. That $1 will feel like you cracked the cheat code. Because if you can make $1, you can make $10. And if you can make $10, you can make $100. And so on. It's like finding a glitch in the financial matrix. And once you realize you can print money out of thin air, you'll want more. That's when we go from lemonade stand to business system. Point 6, create a simple side income stream. By the end of week 2, I want you to have your first repeatable money system. Don't overcomplicate this. It's not like you're not building Amazon 2.0. Think small but scalable. Reselling stuff on Amazon, starting a print-on-demand t-shirt store, or offering simple freelance gigs. The point isn't to become Jeff Bezos overnight, it's to create a system that works while you're not watching. Here, I have an analogy for you. This is like planting your first money tree. Right now it's just a seed, but water it, and in a few months, it can cover groceries. In a year, maybe rent. And one day, early retirement. And the best part, once you plant one tree, you'll want to plant a forest. That's when things get dangerous, in the best possible way. And speaking of forests, week 3 is where your little seedlings start growing into redwoods, the kind of redwoods that shade your future self from financial storms. Phase 3, week 3, growth mode, days 15 to 21. Point 7, invest in yourself with $0. Here we go with this one. Most people think investing means buying stocks or crypto. I'm sick of it. Week 3 starts with the cheapest and most underrated investment ever, feeding your brain. It's really not that hard. Free books at the library, free podcasts on Spotify, free YouTube tutorials. If you can't afford to invest dollars yet, invest hours. Every page you read, every video you watch, every new idea you learn. That's compound interest for your brain. Think of it this way. Binge watch Netflix for 3 hours and you know how to kill zombies. Binge watch financial education for 3 hours and you know how to kill debt. Which one's going to change your life faster? But knowledge alone doesn't pay rent. So let's talk about something way more profitable than Netflix trivia. People. Point 8, build a powerful network. You've heard the cliche 1,000 times, and I've even grilled you with it on this channel. Your network is your net worth. And yeah, it sounds like something Gary Vee would scream at you on stage. But here's the thing, it's true. Because look, if all your friends are broke, guess what? You're probably broke too. If all your friends complain about how the system is rigged while pounding $12 margaritas every weekend, you'll end up with 2 things: a hangover and no money. Birds of a feather flock together, and they go bankrupt together too. But here's where it gets fun. Your network doesn't have to be some stuffy country club full of old men in khakis. In 2025, your network might just be a Discord group where people trade side hustle ideas, or a X thread where someone drops free game on real estate, or even a local meetup where ambitious people gather at a coffee shop to talk startups instead of small talk. One connection can literally save you years. A mentor shows you the shortcut around mistakes that cost thousands. A peer introduces you to a client who pays you double. Even just watching how wealthy people think can shift how you make daily decisions. Because here's a fact, most rich people aren't smarter. They're just plugged into the right conversations. Like, just imagine trying to beat a video game without cheat codes while the guy next to you has the whole manual. That's networking. And here's the kicker. You don't need to be valuable yet to start networking. You don't have to walk into a room with a 6-figure business card. You just need curiosity, humility, and the ability to not be the person who only talks about themselves. People respect learners. People like helping hustlers. Start small. Comment intelligently on posts from people you admire. DM someone with a specific question. Not, teach me how to be rich, but what's one book that changed how you see money? Offer something tiny in return. Share an article, recommend a tool, even just give genuine feedback. The more you give, the more you'll get. That's networking karma. And let's be real. If your current circle isn't pushing you to grow, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. Upgrade your people, and you upgrade your life. Speaking of life upgrade, when you finish watching this video, go back and watch our Financial Freedom playlist to break this concept down even further. Check out the Stealth Wealth store for all of our products, and as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But anyway, now once you get around wealth-minded people, something magical happens. You stop thinking in hundreds and start thinking in thousands, which brings us to the fun part, flipping your first stack. Point 9, multiply your first $100. All right, now if you've been paying attention, remember that $100 you saved back in week 1? Time to stop treating it like a fragile newborn and start treating it like an employee. Put it to work. No, I'm not talking about YOLOing into Bitcoin and praying. I mean flipping. Buy something undervalued and resell it. Thrift shop finds, clearance items, Facebook Marketplace flips. That $100 bill, it should come home with friends. Here's the point. The moment you double your first $100, your brain explodes. Because you realize money isn't scarce. It's just lazy unless you tell it what to do. That's the mindset shift that takes you from survival mode to growth mode. By now, you've got skills, a side hustle, and money that's starting to multiply. You're no longer broke. You're dangerous. And week 4, that's when dangerous turns permanent. Phase 4, week 4. Wealth mindset locked. Days 22 to 30. Automate your money. I'm just going to say it right now. Here's a fact. Broke people rely on willpower. Rich people rely on systems. Why? Because willpower fades faster than a New Year's resolution at the local gym. By day 22, set up automation. Money goes straight into savings, debt payments, or investments before you even touch it. Imagine money sneaking out of your paycheck like a ninja, disappearing into wealth accounts before you can blow it on DoorDash. It's the closest thing to tricking yourself into being rich. Because if you never see the money, you never spend the money. Suddenly, you're building by default, not bleeding by accident. And once you stop bleeding money, you're ready to actually design the life you want to fund. Not someday, now. Point 11, create a 5-year wealth vision. All right, now here's where most people screw up. They say they want to be rich, but ask them what that actually means, and they freeze like a deer in headlights. Rich how? By when? Doing what? Saying you want to be rich without a plan is like saying you want abs while eating donuts in bed. So by day 25, you need a 5-year vision that's specific, clear, and impossible to ignore. Do you want to pay off $50,000 in debt? Write that down. Want $100,000 invested and working for you? Write that down. Want to quit your 9-to-5, move to Bali, and run your business from a hammock? Guess what? Write that down too. The point isn't to dream like a kid writing a Christmas list. The point is to create GPS coordinates for your life. Because money without direction, it's like giving a toddler the keys to a Ferrari. Chaos guaranteed. Once you set that vision, every decision gets easier. Suddenly it's not, should I blow $300 on the new iPhone upgrade? It's, will this get me closer or further from my 5-year goal? Boom, clarity. And here's the wild part. Most people will drift for decades with no plan. But the second you know where you're headed, you become dangerous. Because direction plus discipline equals unstoppable. Okay, so you've got systems, you've got vision, but there's one final piece to cement this new identity. And it's the one almost nobody does. Point 12, teach someone else what you learned. Now with this one, I gotta share with you the secret most people miss. The fastest way to lock in knowledge is to teach it to someone else. Day 30 is graduation day. You're no longer just the student, you're the teacher. And no, you don't need to host a TED Talk or start charging for coaching. Just explain what you've learned to a friend, a sibling, your kid, or even a random internet stranger. Tell them how you tracked your spending, built a mini emergency fund, or made your first dollar online. Why does this matter? Because when you teach, 2 things happen. You realize how much you've actually grown. You internalize the lessons so deeply, they become second nature. Think of it like this. Students consume information, but teachers own it. And once you can explain wealth without sounding like a TikTok scammer, that's when you know you've leveled up. Plus, here's a bonus. When people start asking you for advice, your identity shifts. You're no longer the broke one trying to figure it out. You're the person others look to for guidance. That confidence alone, that's wealth. So, let's recap your 0 to wealth plan. Just want to make sure you've been following along. Week 1, track, cut, save $100. Week 2, learn a skill, make your first dollar, start a side system. Week 3, invest in yourself, build your network, multiply money. Week 4, automate, create a vision, and teach someone else. Do this for 30 days, and you won't just change your bank account. You'll change your entire financial identity. Now, if you thought this 30-day plan was powerful, wait until you see the next video, because I'm about to give you the exact reason why the middle class has completely given up on getting rich. And trust me, it's going to surprise you. Click or tap the video on the screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.